As a creative person, you want to create. You want to do comic books, and you see them in a vision of your own.
Nothing. I personally am just a touch offended by that.
Is complete and utterly jackass.
The biggest risk was embarrassment.
You know, Marvel was making all kinds of money.
So he wouldn't let me do it.
Why is that?
I thought it was absurd that they gave me the task to get Spider-Man sales up. I get the sales to arguably the highest that anybody at that point was doing and set records. And yet it still wasn't good enough.
Because I think Marvel is like, it's our gimmicks that are selling these. We put 5 X-Force covers out, and we put 5 Spider-Man covers out, and we put 8 X-Men covers out. It's us. It's not you. It was us.
Because they're a bunch of jerks over at Marvel. I know I'm not supposed to say that, but you know what?
Maybe that's too generous.
This is the gangster ethics that I was just talking about.
I don't know, maybe it's Disney, huh?
I'm not mad. I'm not.
Well, the sexy story is...
The question from Peter David to Todd Mcfarlane. Having claimed the moral high ground in your landmark column about respect, please explain how the treatment of freelancers by Image is ethically superior to that of Marvel.
If you read the column and you read my opinions on why I quit Marvel Comics, I'm going to tell you guys right here, because again, obviously you missed the point. It wasn't money. As a creative person, you want to create. You want to do comic books, and you see them in a vision of your own. When you start to get people around you all of a sudden saying, Todd, here, or Bill here, or John here, here's a book, it's not selling very well, go and do whatever you want, there's minimal amount of interference on that book. Because as creative people, we like to take an underdog approach. So we take a book, and as we build the momentum on the book, at some point, the companies jump on and want to start guiding that train. It was only going 5 miles an hour when you jumped on it. They didn't care about it. But as soon as you get it going up to 100 miles an hour, all of a sudden they want to become the conductor. That's why I ended up quitting. The Spider-Man, the popularity of Spider-Man became the status quo. Don't mess with it. You can't do this with it. You might offend people. Your audience is so big now, Todd, that you might say something wrong, so that all of a sudden now I have to be guilty of my success. The people who are coming to Image comic books, I can guarantee it to the person that Jerry Ordway, I've never had one conversation with a man to tell him anything about how to do his work. We said, here's your deadline, here's the book, here's where the printers have got to be, we got to get the book. I've never given him one word to say, this is how you have to draw, this is how you have to fit into Image, this is how you have to do that. Al Gordon, not one. Bill Loeb, not one. Sam Keith, not one. But we have given not a haven to run helter-skelter on deadline, but a haven for those who will play and have a bit of an attitude and have a good attitude about it, is a haven to create as you see fit completely from beginning to end on that book that fits in the Image universe and is a book that we don't have a problem with, and we're never going to tell you, Peter, if you do a book for Image, how to do anything on your book other than to get it in on time.
It's really kind of unfortunate, in my opinion, about the way that Image is set up, is that you've totally dismissed the notion that perhaps an outside eye or another opinion can sometimes improve a book. Not always. It's a system that cuts both ways, and sometimes it can hurt a book as well. But a certain amount is owed to the readers to try to get the best product out there possible. Now the problem is that you can say as much as you want, oh, well, we won't tell people how to do their book. That's great. That's fine. Sometimes they might need the help, but even so, if they don't, that's fine too. They should be allowed to do whatever they want within limits. And apparently the limits that you have set is within the confines of the Image universe. And I'm sorry, I find that to be slightly contradictory. That if you're going to say to someone, you can do whatever you want, then let them do whatever they want. If you're going to say, you can do whatever you want within the confines of the Image universe, you're not allowing them the freedom that they are entitled to as a creator. You can't have it both ways.
Peter, we never asked for it to be both ways, but we've opened up the door. Even Mr. Perez here, we made the offer to him long ago, and one of his reasons for not joining Image was he wanted to be able to blow up the planet. Nobody has come up to us. You want to be able to blow up the planet but not kill our guy, so he was nice about it. And our response back then was the same that it is ultimately. You can blow up the planet. Legends is now doing that. You each can have your own little universe. What we're looking for is the emblem up in the corner. What ended up happening wasn't so much that people were going, I want to play in my own universe, and now all of a sudden we're saying, no, you got to play in the universe. They came to us specifically saying, we will do a monthly book, and we want to interact with Wildcats. We want to interact with Spawn. We want to interact with this stuff. Getting into the book, all of a sudden they started going into a different direction. And actually, it wasn't even so much the content. Again, Peter, it came down to the promises they made to us of bringing an anchor to us and giving us some stability that they reneged on.
I thought it was just absurd.
Maybe that's too generous.
So you had this perfect storm.
Cheating thing.
Well, that doesn't seem right.
It doesn't seem right to me.
No.
I thought it was just absurd.
Those sons of bitches.
Because they're a bunch of jerks over at Marvel. I know I'm not supposed to say that, but you know what?
Don't let some idiot talk you out of it.
And I'm talking about the original gangsters, as I believe the young people like to phrase it these days.
Why is that?
I don't know, maybe it's Disney, huh?
Is complete and utterly jackass.
Cheating.
I'd appreciate your input. Worst episode ever.